everyone, and welcome into the Isaac Shelby Coaches Show. I'm Ethan Schmidt, bringing you the weekly podcast of the Clarksville High School football team here at Varsity Pins. Of course, Coach Shelby joining me here today. Coach Shelby, I know obviously Friday night, not the way that we wanted things to go, but other than that, how are you doing?
Other than that, pretty good. Still kind of got the bad taste in your mouth from last week.
Again, we want to thank our sponsors here tonight, of course, Varsity Pins, for letting us use the facility here. I know we got some duck pin bowling going over. I always like that we come in here and that they don't know they're a part of the show, but they're a part of the show because they're in the background with us.
They just get surprised, I think. That I can see people looking over here not knowing what's going on right now.
Or where we're at. We're on the bus here at Varsity Pins, which is really cool. Super excited that we get a chance to come out here and talk weekly about Clarksville High School football and what we see each week on the field and what's been going on. Also with that, we want to say thank you to Sheepdog Custom Inc., our guy, Coach Stephen Conway. He's out here. He's probably our biggest, most loyal fan out there, too. He's been here every show, so fired up to have Coach Conway out here. He's always making sure that the team is outfitted right. We look good. The Built Different shirt I have on right now, that's something, a quote that you started a long time ago is be different, or be better, or be different. Be better or
be different, yep.
And so being able to have that on a shirt is a good reminder for a lot of the people who come through Clarksville High School that, you may not always be the most athletic guy in the field. There's always going to be guys who are 5 stars, whatever it is. But if you're different, you're going to get noticed. And so I like the fact that we have shirts like this. We also want to thank Wyatt Johnson Hyundai, who has been now, came in a little bit earlier with us and gave us a big donation. So we wanted to make them a part of the podcast, so we've given them a shout out every week as well. They're on all of our graphics now that we put out, so it's super cool.
Brought a car into the stadium the other night, so that was good.
Absolutely. So fired up at the fact that we have so much going on here and so much that we have to look forward to with all the good things that are happening to the program. I know I'm mentioning and we're staying super positive right now. You and I have been talking about that, of being super positive. The big thing is first week didn't go the way maybe that we thought it was going to go. Game started really good for us.
Yeah, really good.
We had a really good opening kind of moment. We're going to talk to that guy here in a second who got us on the board quickly and in a hurry for us. But ultimately, the game just kind of, it was a really good defensive battle for a long time. Then finally in that fourth quarter, it looked like it just closed out.
Yeah, Blackman was a really good team. We knew they would be. Bryson started us off good, got up early, and then we just kind of fell into like a comedy of errors there for a while in the second half that it was like losing like 25 consecutive coin flips. It wasn't going good. We weren't making the breaks. We didn't really play well. I'm not really upset about the loss. I'm kind of upset about the way we lost it. We pointed it out, like the kids have seen that. We've gone over the video, and they'll get a chance against a really good Springfield team to kind of see how much they improve over the week. So I was just talking to Bryson earlier. The hard thing about football is you play every 7 days. So when you play basketball or play baseball and you have a bad night like we did, you just turn around and play the next day and you can kind of shake it off. It's much harder to shake off in football just because it's so long in between games, and we got to figure it out. And we've been working very diligently at it all week, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that's a big part of it. I know you've said that before when you talk to some of these players, because we have a lot of multi-sport athletes who do play basketball, who play baseball, and it's one of those things where like you almost like have to just you have to wallow for a little bit, but then in 7 days you have to be ready. But like all week long, especially for these guys, they're hearing, especially the last 2 classes, because we have such a close-knit group mostly every season. They're like, well, we never lost a regular season game. And that's got to be something that drives these guys moving forward.
It may, but like when you talk to guys about goals, like I've never heard, when you talk about goal setting and stuff, I've never heard anybody, really get fired up about like their major thing is to, win game 1. Like when you talk to our guys over the past couple of years and you say, hey, what defines success? And What is a goal for this team? Like, they're all playoff type goals. They're all week 11 goals, week 12 goals, down the road goals. So that's still a long ways in front of us. We got to get better each week, and we got to get there. We got to get in it. But I don't remember very much in the past about like the beginning of seasons. I always remember about the end of seasons, and the end of the season is a long way away. So we got to continue to get better every day. The coaching staff's got to do a good job of making adjustments and changes based on what we saw in the film. We've done that in the past, and I don't see any reason that like this team can't do it when they set their mind to it.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. That's just week one, and it was a very good team. It's a team that's ranked in state.
Yep.
This is a team that we saw week one that if we get to see somewhere down the road or a week 11, 12 opponent, you can say, hey, we've been in these tough times before. Over the past couple years, we really haven't had that when it came to teams in the city. It just wasn't there, that type of competition level that a team like Blackman brings.
Well, at the end of the day, these guys want to make, they want to make a deep playoff run. And if you want to do that, like this it may hurt now, but it may make us better at the end of the season. When you talk about the elite teams in 6A in the West, you're talking about Blackman, you're talking about Oakland, or not just in the West, just in general, but we played Oakland 2 weeks ago. Oakland and Blackman played last year. I think the score was 14-10 at the end of the game, and that score is really close to what it was. You take away the last 15 minutes where they get a couple tack-ons. And a lot of that was just self-inflicted nonsense of ours that we've gotten fixed this week, hopefully. So, but we played Oakland. We watched them play Ravenwood. Ravenwood won the West last year. Blackman and Ravenwood played that scrimmage, tight as can be. I think it's just a really quality team, and I think if our guys take the coaching and the criticism that they have gotten this week, and the players improve, the coaches improve, everybody gets better, I think at the end of the year we'll look back and go, you know what, like, it's very possible that was just two really good teams on the field, and Blackman beat Clarksville High that night. So Blackman's a good football team.
Yeah, absolutely, and we definitely saw that from Friday night. Like I mentioned, we got jumped out early. Defense looked really, really good.
Really good. Really
and
good
then just
early.
come a couple of self-inflicted kind of wounds that ended up making that the difference in that game.
Yeah, I think part of it too. I was talking earlier about somebody. There is a lot of experience playing that's coming back on this team. There's a lot of guys that have played before, and there's experience. But it's a weird kind of experience in that a lot of the guys that are playing, they came in at the end of games last year where they were up 40. You know what I mean? And when you talk about situational football, when you're up 40, there is no situation. There is no pressure. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. You jump off sides. You're up 40. You know what I mean? So situational football is still something that we've got to work really, really hard on, because the guys have played. They just haven't played in a lot of the guys haven't played in the biggest moments that they're in now, and we got to get that fixed and taken care of.
What do you think's your biggest takeaway from week one and watching your team and then watching them through practice these first couple days?
It's just, we just got to keep working. It's just going to take time. We replaced a lot of key pieces. We replaced a lot of veteran experience, and it's going to take time. I've got to be more patient. The kids have got to listen a little differently, and we've got to find a way to make it work. But this has happened before. I think it was like 5 years ago. We lost to McGavick. Yep. We started out 0-2, and then ended up going on a tear. I think we won like the last 8 after that. We had lost to Beach in like week 4, but we started 0-2, and then we lost to Beach where we were 1-3, and then I think we won the last 8 in a row, won the first playoff game, and then got beaten the second round. So, it's there for the taking if they'll just listen and figure out the problems, and you're never going to not have problems. Like, this team kind of needed that, I think. Yeah. I think I needed that. I mean, I think the pressure of, that many wins in a row, that many home field wins in a row, it was like 20, I think we were before last week, I think we'd won 26 out of the last 29.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that pressure's off now. You know, and we're back to where we were. But it's it's a lot of pressure, and hopefully we'll be better for it on Friday.
All right, well, we're going to step aside for our first break here. When we come back, Bryson Ellington's going to join us on the Varsity Pins bus here. You're listening to the Isaac Shelby Coaches Show. Running backs as well, one of our 4-year guys. He is a multi-sport athlete as well. Bryson, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just came from a good practice like an hour ago. I'm doing great.
Coach, you've obviously known Bryson for a long time. You've known his family for a long time. What's it like coaching Bryson first and foremost?
Bryson's a great kid. Like you said, he's a multiple sport kid. He's coachable. He comes out for Clarksville High in football. He goes out in hoops and does a really good job. I've known him since he was a little kid, coached his older brother, Bavon, and he just comes from good Clarksville High lineage, with the Dallin family, and he's just a Clarksville High guy. He comes from good people. He's a good kid, good student, proud of what the man he's become. One of my favorite pictures of my whole time at Clarksville High, when we first got there, we had that little kids camp, and there was a picture of Bryson and Laney. I don't know have you seen this?
No.
I'm gonna find it. It's on my computer. There's a picture of Bryson and Laney as little tiny kids at kids camp learning to be linemen. And now Bryson's sitting here, Laney's at Carson Newman, and Bryson will be somewhere next year playing ball. So that was really good. That was back in Bryson's chunkier days.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he was a lineman. I think he's always weighed the same. He just got taller.
Yeah, that's a good thing to stretch out instead of continuing to go sideways.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good thing for you. Bryson, what's it like being a Clarksville Wildcat? I know a lot of times, there's a pressure. I mean, you're sitting with 2 alumni of the program. We get it. I mean, we've been there, and you carry Clarksville on you. What's it like to be able to continue a legacy of Clarksville High School?
It's great because I have uncles, cousins, I got a brother who play here. Just great to be able to play here. Known Coach Shelby almost all my life. I knew I was going to come here. It's been great to play here.
Yeah, I love the fact, we talked, we've had Coley on, who's a multi-sport athlete. We've had Dawson on, who's a multi-sport athlete. You play basketball with Dawson. We try to get Coley to play basketball, but I know Mr. Greg always shakes his head no at me. But
Yeah,
we were
I
trying
saw
to
him
get
play
Coley.
basketball in middle school.
Yeah.
It's like the first time I saw him do anything. It was really good. He should
You
Like,
couldn't
he would help
recruit him
us.
out there?
I tried.
Yeah, it's 6'5" frame, man.
Yeah.
He
Coach-
came out to the tryouts and they just never came back. So I was like, okay.
That's funny. Yeah, Bryson's a good one, but he's like an old soul in this like weird new age of sports. Like he's the guy that like he plays multiple things. He's trusted member of Coach Young's crew over on the basketball court, and I enjoy watching him play basketball.
What's it like to play for Coach Shelby and Coach Young? Those are two very different spirits, but also kind of like similar old school coaches.
When it comes to the differences, I would say Coach Young's definitely more laid back, even on the bench. Like he doesn't really yell too much. He's always just low tone, telling us what to do better. And like when we mess up on that football field, it's yeah.
You know where he's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's different ways to skin a cat. I would say, that Coach Young's really good. One of the reasons I run the basketball clock is I enjoy watching him coach, and I think I learn stuff when I'm just sitting there watching him. Just because he's won so many games, and he's been to so many state tournaments, and there's things that I see in him that make me want to be more like him. But man, he is cool under pressure. He is something. I gotta give him that.
So this season, obviously, we talked about it. Obviously, you play D-line and running back, so you get a chance to kind of out on one side of the ball, you're going after running backs. On the other side of the ball, you are the guy trying to elude those D linemen. Yeah. What's your favorite of those two?
I definitely love running the ball, but I would have to say my favorite playing D-line. I love playing D-line. I love hitting people. So both ways I hit people, but tackling, I love tackling people.
Yeah. I also saw today you guys had the D-line Disciples shirts on.
I've never seen that before.
I know. Explain that. I know Coach Conway's here, but explain the D-line Disciples here.
Yeah, it's been something we've been talking about since last year. We didn't get done last year, but this year we went through with it. We've been calling ourselves the D-line Disciples for a year now, and we decided to put on a shirt.
That's funny because Coach Conway does develop like a little. We've joked about it in the coach's office. Whatever position I put him at tends to develop this little like cult-like following.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those guys really play hard for him, and he does an incredible job. And we're lucky he's part of our staff for sure.
Yeah, and we're talking about Coach Conway. You on both sides of the ball here, you have two. Like Coach said, Coach Conway, you can put him anywhere. He's going to find people that want to play football. On the other side of the ball, you got Coach Jay Bailey. Talk about both those coaches. Talk about Coach Conway first and what he's helped you develop since he's become your D-line coach. And then what's it like? Because you have Coach Bailey for more than half the year because you also have him in basketball as well.
With Coach Bailey, you definitely know what he's going to want from you. And, like, you know what he's going to say. You know what he's going to want you to do. With Coach Conway, it's like, we know, like, it's different things that we have to do every week, depending on what the O-line does, what the D-line does. Like, it's just different when it comes to running back and D-line.
We try to hire guys with, different personalities that kind of fit different kinds of kids, and there's a couple of us, me and Coach Stanley, and I think Coach Irwin probably falls in that group where we just are fired up all the time. We just stay like that, when we're in neutral. But the thing about Coach Bailey and Coach Conway is they're so cool and so calm all the time that occasionally when you hear like Jay get real fired up or Coach Conway, the kids are like, whoa, wait, hold on a second. Like, you know what I mean? I must have really did something wrong here, because they're not all the time, just constant like that. So that's a good balance on our staff, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Obviously, Coach Bailey is one of my coaches at one point when I played here, so I get that whole mentality of how he is. I understand sometimes, when you get him, when you don't do it right, you'll hear that real crisp, just your name, and you're like, oh, man. Obviously, with Coach Conway, like I say, I try to study him as much as possible because I like the way he does what he does and how he does it, so I get the way that those two are. I completely understand just kind of having a different personality there but obviously they're two guys that you can lean on at any point too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Bryson, what's been kind of like a goal for you guys? I know obviously you're one of the senior captains. You're getting to lead the Cat Jacks. It's a super big honor to get to do that during our Circle of Life moment. What's it like now, your senior year, with this senior class that you've grown up with here? But like, what do you guys talk about like for your success, or what are you guys defining as success this year?
We were definitely thinking about 10-0, but now that we took that loss last week, we're thinking farther. We're thinking we want to go to playoffs. We want to go far in the playoffs. We go to week 14, go as far as we can. Because the last couple of years, we've gotten hit out the first round. But a lot of these guys I've grown up with my whole life, or I just met them my 9th grade year. But it's like Hollywood, I just met them this year, but we're all really close. So I love those guys, and we're looking to play with each other for a long time.
I think if you guys really set your mind to that and set your goal to that, I think you can achieve that. And once you start getting to that level, I think you'll forget about last Friday night.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So what's been your greatest moment as a Wildcat? I think that's something that I really like to ask you seniors, because I know you guys have been choosing seniors each week to come in here. What's been like the moment that you look back on now? I know obviously we still have so much more football to play in front of us, but looking back so far, what's been like your best memory of Clarksville football?
It's tough to say because I always, like, since my freshman year, I've been wanting to do the Cat Jacks. It's like doing the Cat Jacks last week was probably one of the best things because it's a feel good moment. You're in the middle of your team. You're a leader. I think that's one of my favorite moments for this team.
Yeah, I love that. That's a super cool experience to have.
Yeah, I agree with you. You could tell when he found out he was doing that, he was super excited. It's just a guy that's been through a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of games in multiple sports. So, it's a neat thing when somebody chooses something like that, I think.
Yeah. All right, Bryson, the big question, I know people have been asking you all week, who will be on the show next week? I know they've been politicking. I know who you want to say, but I think the guy next to me may have to veto it, or we'll have to do the podcast a little different. You'll have to sit here next week, and I'll have to sit there if he chooses who I think he wants to choose.
I want to choose Elijah Ligon.
If we do Elijah, then I've got to have control of the board over here.
All right.
Elijah, he played really, really good last week. He's come a long way. But he is a live wire. So, just in general. So, good guy, but he played incredible last week. But he is a live wire, so we'll have to figure that out.
I mean, if you want him, I want him here. I love Elijah. I love him here. Bryson wants him here. I think it needs to happen, Coach.
That's fine. I'll just have a talking to with Elijah before we start. You can't undo YouTube. It just stays on there forever.
That's right. So Elijah Ligon, man, and you're listening. If you're watching right now, we're fired up. Bryson wants you on here. You obviously have grown, and he's seen the growth of you as well as a teammate. So we're fired up to have Elijah on here next week. Bryson, man, thank you so much for joining us, man. We're so glad you could be here with us tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Coach.
Absolutely.
Appreciate everything you've done for Clarksville High Athletics for 4 years, man. A lot of people wouldn't do that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take our next break. When we come back, Coach Shelby and I are going to talk about the dreaded rivals from Robertson County that we're going to see on Friday. And welcome back to the Isaac Shelby Coaches Show. We're in our final segment here as the Clarksville High School Wildcats head football coach Isaac Shelby talks a little bit about one of our favorite rivalry games that we get to do. And I know it's not the in-city rivalry game. Obviously, we know that one involves a team from Exit 8. This one is a big one, though, for a legacy purpose. I mean, your dad, your family that has played Clarksville High football, yourself, myself, like all of us that have played this game against Springfield means a little bit more, especially for the older guys. But I think this younger group, especially over the last like 5-6 years, post-COVID, I think it's meant a ton to them.
Yeah, I think it has. We try to bring guys back that have played in that game to speak to the kids and talk to them about, some of the old stories that are associated with that game. But if you talk about a rivalry in Tennessee, I think there's always because there's Maryville Alcoa, there's rivalries all over. Brentwood Ravenwood I think is a big one. But I think Clarksville Springfield is just at the top of the thing. It's an old rivalry. It dates back, like if you look at the history of it, like it dates back like before the Spanish flu. It's 100 years. Like it just doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, and I believe if I'm right, and normally I try to keep this record, I believe this is the 102nd meeting.
Yeah,
will be this Friday.
Yeah, it's something like that. And there was a couple times where it was, we met twice. Yeah. Once in the regular season and once in the playoffs later. Back when we were, more, region together. But it's just a great rivalry. It's really neat when you get there. You'll see a lot of people return to games. You know what I mean? And different ages and stuff like that. But when you go to Springfield, you see old Yellow Jackets and old Wildcats, and there's a lot of people I think that don't go to any high school football games all year, except Clarksville Springfield. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and it is one of those games that's usually pretty highly touted about. You got a lot of people who will weighing in on opinions. I mean, this is a week I know a lot of times. The guys from 615 Preps, they're tagging me in everything all week, and I'm having to repost that because I know this is one of those ones that in the Nashville and surrounding area, a lot of people keep their eye on.
Yeah, it's a big opinion week for sure. Everybody's got those, but I know they're doing a really cool documentary on Springfield, following them throughout the year this year. I think that's really, really neat, and hopefully. They came up and talked to us a little bit last week, so hopefully, they'll talk a little bit about the rivalry and the trophy and some of the older stuff. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, definitely. And I know as well as I do. This game, very well coached Springfield team, no matter what.
Absolutely.
I know last year was a close one. It was a nail biter at Springfield. Unfortunately, the luck of the draw, we had to be back there again, back-to-back years. 2 years ago, it was one of those games where, it was Laney Best, and you kind of put a challenge on him, and he led a really successful game. And then the year before that, it was all Springfield, my TV 30.
Yep.
It was a very, very tough game for us there. And, in one of those games, you're just like, man, that was a really good team. And we've seen that the past couple years. It was kind of one way, and then last year was a dead heave to the very end.
Yeah, definitely the best game of the last three was last year. Those games are always tight. Usually, you don't usually get one that goes sideways in that rivalry very often. It's usually really, really tight games, and that's what makes them so fun, especially to go against a team as well coached as Springfield. They've got great coaches. They have great fans. They have great players, and they always have. So, it should be a really, really fun atmosphere. Can't wait for Friday night just to get last week shaken off a little bit.
And I know for you, this is one of those stadiums, one of those places where most people would be like, man, I hate coaching there, but I know you like it because of how close to, like, as much as like, you hate when fans are like, oh, what are you doing? But like,
I can't hear it anyway.
You drown it out. I'm trying my hardest to learn that. Because I can just hear everything sometimes. But like that atmosphere is so electric when it's like that. I mean, our home stadium, you talk about this, their home stadium, Central's home stadium, it's that you're on top of it.
Yeah, I think one of the things that they did that was really cool is when they built the new stadium, it would have been really easy to do it just like everybody else does and, go with one of those plans. And they went out of their way to keep, like, the tradition at Springfield. They went with, virtually the same stadium, just new, like, same stadium dimensions. It's really hard because everything is so tight. Like, the sideline's tight. It's tough keeping the kids back because they don't really have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't hear any of it. Like, I lock into what I'm doing and I don't hear any of it. But it can be tough on the kids, because the people are so close. It's kind of got like a cracker box feel, kind of like ours does. But even ours is much bigger sidelines than theirs. But it's really cool that they kept the tradition and replaced like the old stadium with the same dimensions, so you kind of still feel like you're in the old stadium. I think is neat.
I've been wearing the double headphones nowadays.
It's probably a good idea.
Makes it easier for me to try to learn how to block it all out. I've been on the double headphones recently, and I think that's helping me just a little bit. Coach, obviously this is a good team. They have some really good players.
Very good, yeah.
Talk a little bit about this Springfield team, what they bring to the table.
I mean, obviously, Jermaine Cobbins, a lot of people talk about him, but it's not just Jermaine. I mean, the Hurst kid's good, the quarterback's good. They've got a lot of quality football players for sure. Woodson's a good player. They can do a lot of things, and I think the biggest thing that impresses me about Springfield and Coach Wilson's development of kids there is, we played them long time before, and not just the head coach before, but Springfield has always had like really, really good football players going back. I mean, if you talk about Josh Bay and Jonathan Utley and Fat Cat, and then it's always somebody that's really, really, really good. But I think the difference is under Dustin, like they do a good job of developing the whole program. Like they've always had guys, but the whole group is better. There's been years where they've had a couple of incredible players, but the other guys were not quite there, and you could kind of win those matchups. But it's not like that. They're a great team, great program, solid across the board, and there's not really a weak link in Springfield football.
Absolutely. Coach, what's your message to the fans this week about coming out? I know obviously it's not too far of a trip down to Springfield High School. What's kind of the message here?
It's a cool place to go. Go out there, get in the game, watch Clarksville High. I don't think we put our best foot forward last week, and I think the kids would agree with that. We've had a week to sit on it and a week to work, and I hope that you see a group that is tougher, that has taken some of the challenges that have been difficult challenges, but I hope you see a group that's tougher and comes out and plays in a way that our community is proud of, and I think they will. It's been a tough week. Like, they're tired of dealing with me. I'm tired of dealing with them. I'm tired of dealing with the assistant coaches. They don't want to be around me. Like, there's just a lot of sourness after last week, and it's going to take a whole week to get it out. So, it'll be interesting. We've had 7 days to improve. We had a little team meeting Sunday night, and we'll see how that goes. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to get going against somebody else. But it's a great place to watch football. They do a great job. Their field's awesome. It might be the best field we play on all year. And it's just a really quality program. And I can't wait for Friday just to get the juices back flowing again.
One thing I forgot to ask you about, usually I do it in that first segment because I try to recap everything we've done this week. Forgot to mention the JV. I know you were out there, you were watching it. You were fired up to kind of see these young guys. A lot of freshmen getting time out there on the field. A lot of freshmen in general, but a lot of freshmen getting time on the field. We saw some guys do some things that were really impressive, and varsity heard about that too. It'll be interesting. You guys are out there coaching it, and I try really hard not to coach JV, because not only do I want to develop our kids, but I want our coaches to develop. Like, I think Jim Irwin, if he wants to, he's got offensive coordinator in his future, and he's got head coach in his future. And I feel like by doing that, stepping on his toes, then I'm stunting his growth and not creating like a learning environment where he can improve himself. Now, I'll occasionally go down and make a suggestion or two for everybody, but I try to let them go through that process themselves and kind of feel that out. But those guys played outstanding. I think Braden Beckett,
he was a guy that played really, really good. He's going to play on Friday night. He didn't play last Friday. But, man, when you watch that kid run around playing football, like, he's enjoying himself. He's doing what he's coached to do. He's working hard. And there's a lot of guys that were on the field like that. Another one that impressed me, Cam Long. I think Cam Long is playing outstanding. He's really, really close. Obviously, Harrison Smith, like, he'll get on the field too. But there's a bunch of guys out there that are working, that are getting better, that are getting coached, and they're improving their games, and we're excited to see it. But Braden will be on the field Friday night for the first time, and I can't be more excited for him, just because he's earned it. He's been down there for a year already. He came out Monday night, and he just does everything you tell him to do. So, he'll be out there, and I can't be more excited for that kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Me as well. I mean, obviously, I get to coach him every day. So, one of those guys that, you and I talked about.
Yeah, he's always quiet around me. I don't think I've ever heard Braden, like, really talk.
Yeah, he talks around me all the time, so I'm used to him. And you kept saying,
like, I
don't know about him.
Then. I don't know.
I won't say anything. I'll leave that here. But I know he does talk to me a lot, and I know when you and I were talking during spring, you were like, you think Braden Beckett could be your third guy at X? And I said, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think he can.
Yeah. I mean, you get him young, and the only thing I do when I'm standing there is I'm watching little things, and I'm watching for varsity kids. There's always a group of kids that we know is close, but not quite there yet. You know what I mean? And I'm letting you guys call the plays. I'm letting you guys work that out, because that's what makes you guys better. But I'm there to make sure that, when Braden is playing really, really good, everybody's there to see that. And man, he played outstanding. I'm excited for him to get varsity action on Friday night, because he's a good kid. He does what he's coached to do, and he ain't scared of nothing. And he'll mix it up with you.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for popping out here and joining me here in the bus and getting a chance to talk Clarksville High football. I know Friday is going to be a big one. We're excited for that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We don't have to line the field this week, so that's awesome too.
We don't have to line the field for a couple weeks.
I don't have to paint anything, so that's really good.
We're about 4 weeks out from us needing to be able to paint or needing to paint anything,
yeah,
so that's a good sign. Again, we want to thank our sponsors here, Varsity Pins, for letting us come out here, using their facility, being on the bus, fired up to continue to do that each Wednesday night of the football season here. Again, a shout-out to Coach Stephen Conway and Sheepdog Custom Ink for all he does for us. This beautiful banner, if you're watching at home, you get to see here on the bus. He made that for us as well. So always very thankful for Coach Conway, and he does, and, of course, Wyatt Johnson Hyundai as well. They came out to our last home game. I'm sure they'll come out maybe a couple more down the road again. We're not home for another 3 weeks.
Yeah, so we have a backlog of home games this year. We'll finish strong at the end.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I want to thank you again. Thank you for everybody that's watching. Of course, thank Mr. Greg Reynolds and Middle Tennessee Youth Sports for putting this on YouTube for us and continue to live stream that. Also live streaming all of our games. I know they're excited to see Springfield again. I know Miss Sarah's over there very excited about that. So we'll get down there, and they'll have that live stream for you as well.
Yeah, super excited. Can't wait to get this shaken off. Got to shake it off, get going, and get ready to play Friday. And, it's just what it is. So we'll get going.
Thank you for listening, and
go Cats.
Go Cats.